This year it was meant for England. Lucy Bronze, England's most decorated footballer, the one player who epitomizes what it is to be a lioness, just had a feeling all along. Even with a fractured tibia throughout the tournament, Bronze would not give up. She would not miss this moment, as her side defended their European title and overcame the world champions on foreign soil. The 33-year-old more than played her part. She only came off when she could no longer run through the pain, tears forming in her eyes, as she finally allowed someone to take her place in extra time of England's penalty shootout victory over Spain in the Euro 2025 final. Sarina Wiegman's side defied the odds, silenced the doubters, came back from the brink over and over and over again. They simply won at any cost. At the end of it, there can be no doubts. This was the greatest achievement in the history of English football. It is the first time an England team have won a major trophy on foreign soil after Wiegman's side delivered at home in 2022, and the men's 1966 World Cup victory took place at Wembley Stadium. The Lionesses also became the first senior English side to defend their title, and they did it by coming from behind at half-time, the first time that had been done before in the Women's Euros. It cemented manager Wiegman's status as one of the world's greatest with her third successive European title, achieved with two countries. It was her fifth major final in a row, and Wiegman has won 3 of them, a simply remarkable feat. She could barely believe it as she danced, arm in arm with Captain Leah Williamson, allowing the mask to slip as England's understated and composed leader. "I actually can't believe it myself. I was like, how can this happen? But it happened. I'm so incredibly proud of the team. I'm so happy," she said afterwards. Wiegman's watch notification during HEW news conference reminded her of a workout she was due to have. "I won't be doing that anymore," she joked. And you can understand why. She had already exhausted herself, going through every emotion imaginable in what she described as the most ridiculous and chaotic tournament of her career. The players had not made it easy for themselves, acknowledging the stress they had put their families under and how they almost killed Wiegman off at least twice. England led for just 4 minutes and 52 seconds in the knockout stage of the tournament and yet somehow had their hands on the trophy in Basel, surrounded by gold confetti, with the soundtrack of Queen's "We Are the Champions" playing in the background. Before kick-off, England were written off. In fact, they were written off before Euro 2025 started when Mary Earps and Fran Kirby retired out of the blue and World Cup captain Millie Bright withdrew from selection. Surely that would be unsettling? Their poor defeat by France in the opening game only strengthened that narrative. But England bounced back. They comfortably beat the Netherlands and Wales to reach the knockout stages. They were 2-0 down to Sweden in the quarter-finals and came back. Sweden only scored 2 of their 7 penalties, so even when goalkeeper Jennifer Falk saved 4 of England's, it was not enough. Luck was on England's side. That was the moment Wiegman admitted the thought, we might be going home tomorrow had crossed her mind. They were 1-0 down again to Italy in the semi-finals before teenager Michelle Adjeming scored a 96th-minute equalizer and Kelly netted the winner in the 119th minute of extra time. Spain had not lost in 10 games. They were the world champions and they were the pre-tournament favorites. When they went 1-0 up in the final, England were on the ropes. They looked down and out. But that was not how the script had been written. England had decided that. So calm was Wiegman, that as her players looked around St. Jacob Park before kick-off, the Dutchwoman waved to members of the media in the stands. She strolled around with her hands in her pockets. She had been here before, England had been here before, and they had an unwavering belief. Spanish journalists were positive about the Lionesses' chances at halftime. England can come back from 1-0 down, Michelle Adjeming will come on, but doubt lingered. The super subs had done the job in 2022. Kelly, Alessia Russo and Ella Toone all shone in their roles as Wiegman stuck with the same starting 11 throughout and trusted those coming on off the bench to make an impact. It proved to be a winning formula she did not waver from in 2025, instead renaming the substitutes as finishers and entrusting them with the same responsibility. The togetherness of the squad was apparent. Bronze's willingness to play through pain, The players' reaction to teammate Jess Carter receiving racial abuse was impactful, and Williamson's act of pushing Adjuming towards fans to receive adulation following their semi-final win was deliberate. "It is ridiculous. Every time we came back from behind. Of course we have players that have talent. But the togetherness of this team is incredible," said Wiegman. "Also, the belief that we can come back. The players say they can come back by any means and they just never give up. Every player is ready to come onto the pitch and show up straight away. That is not easy. I'm just really grateful that I'm part of this team." The magnitude of what the Lionesses were on the cusp of achieving was clear before kickoff as cameras turned to point to the faces in the top-tier stands. Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Prince William with Princess Charlotte, along with Spain's Princess Leonor and UEFA President Alexander Ceferin, were all watching on. Footballing stars from other nations had come to watch two of the world's heavyweights go to battle, including Switzerland's Lia Walti and the USA's Caterina Macario, supporting their Arsenal and Chelsea teammates in white. England men's international Reece James flew out to support his sister Lauren, and Football Association chief Mark Bullingham was with them throughout their journey in Switzerland. Bullingham has already made it emphatically clear that Wiegman, who is under contract until the 2027 World Cup, is not for sale at any price, and you can understand why. With this generation of players, some who were on the fringes in 2022, and others more experienced, such as Bronze and Alex Greenwood, Wiegman has turned the Lionesses into a team that is feared in major tournaments and have become serial winners. Where other teams in England's history have faltered at the final hurdle, this squad proved they could do it again, even when many thought they could not. From the first game it was chaos. Losing your first game and becoming European champions is incredible. "Football is chaos," Wiegman said to BBC Sports TV cameras while Bronze was being piggybacked by goalkeeper Anna Morehouse in the background, celebrating with fans. Bronze knew what England were capable of. Now everybody else knows.